This is Fans on the Run, a podcast made by, for, and about Beatles fans. And now, here's your host, Alexanian.
Oh, hello. Welcome back to Fans on the Run. I always realize I start the show with a really hyperactive introduction, but, you know, the last week or so has been really emotionally draining for the world. It's been a bit of a shit show, to put it lightly. So I'm not my sprightly self as usual, but don't worry, you'll still get the same delusional, senile ramblings as you always get with Fans on the Run. That's what you tune in for, anyways. You don't tune in for insightful commentary. That's why there's 48 other Beatles podcasts that do that for you, so you can go listen to those. I can see my guest got a little surprised when I said that. 48 is actually a bit of an understatement. There's probably hundreds. But yeah, it's... So, I always pull this shtick, of course, when I am a little underprepared. So I will pull this out of my magic bag of tricks. Mystery guest, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty groovy, thanks. How are you?
I am good. I'll say good.
Okay, average.
So, how would you describe yourself, mystery guest? Again, I've said this every time I pull that fucking mystery guest shtick, as if your name isn't in the title, as if your name isn't in the fucking graphic on the screen.
Yeah, I like a little bit of mystery.
Yeah.
How would I describe? Well, basically, so I'm a self-proclaimed Beatle fan. I guess that's how I would describe myself. And, just mostly obsessed is the right word to put it. I do I have an Instagram account and I'm very 60s orientated, vintage style and everything, which my life kind of revolves around bands of the 60s, especially the Beatles, which you may have heard of.
Beatles. No, I've heard of Dave D, Dozy Beaky, Mick and Titch.
Oh,
not the Beatles though. Mm-hmm. But anyways, this is exciting for me because I actually have a fellow member of Generation Z with me today. And again, this is the first time I've actually been able, or one of the few times I've been able to say the letter Z correctly and not have, my apologies to my American guests, but not really, because you say the language wrong. Don't you mean Z? It's like, no, I don't.
No. No, say zebra.
Yeah.
And I'm no. Mm.
I mean, we say zebra, which is a little weird because it's halfway.
Yeah.
It's not zebra.
You can't have them all.
No, you can't win them all. I mean, we stayed a colony for a lot longer than the other ones did.
True.
But yeah, if you're a fellow Zoomer like us and you're a Beatle fan, you've probably seen our guest today in some form or another on YouTube, Instagram. She's all over the place. Connie Mclean, welcome to Fans on the Run.
Thanks. It's good to be here.
Well, it's good to be anywhere these days.
Yeah, here, there, and everywhere, as they say. Was
that a pun?
A little bit.
My opinion shifts from episode to episode on my stance on puns. Some days I'm like, you know what? You said a pun. I can't speak. Get the fuck out. But no. And other days I'm, brain dead. And it's like...
Yeah,
funny.
Just accept it. And things will move along a lot faster.
Mm-hmm. Well, Fans on the Run isn't a fast show exactly. It's the show, again, of...
Fans on the walk.
Again, yeah. It's, instead of Fans on the Run, it should be Fans on the fucking stretching out the runtime. But, again, my brain is a little fried from the past week. How is your brain doing?
I try not to ask that question because it gets me a bit emotional. So I just sort of go with it,
Yeah. I mean, that's the best you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Because imagine, telling yourself last year, I had this conversation with myself last night, imagine talking to yourself from, last November, and it's hey, do you want to hear what happens next year? And it would sound like you're describing some, like, dystopian sci-fi novel.
Literally, man, it's so heavy.
It is. Who'da thunk?
With the funk.
Who'da thunk? But now, we'll get off that and go to our happy place.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to the beginning, in a sense. How did you first discover the Beatles?
Okay, I've got quite a long. It's a long story, but
Long stories are good.
okay. So, when I was young, my dad used to always play the Beatles. We're talking like the White Album here. He was like, he really liked it. He's not like the biggest Beatle fan, but he likes them. And as I got older, like he didn't really play it as much. But then when I was in, I think year 9, no, I was in year 10, which I think in Canada is like ninth grade or something. I don't really know how it works, but
something like that.
Yeah, my mate asked me if I wanted to sing a Beatles song with him for the school rock concert, and it was In My Life, and I was like, ooh, the Beatles. And I thought I should probably look into the Beatles because they're a pretty well-known band.
Yeah.
And it's weird how I don't really know anything about them, so I started like listening to their songs and seeing which ones I recognized. And then While My Guitar Gently Weeps came on shuffle, and I was like, wait a goddamn minute. And I was like, I remember this. And it was really like nostalgic. And that's basically, and then I started listening to them all the time. Like I cannot remember the last time I went a day without thinking about them. Like it's been 3 years. So I kind of dug my own grave in that respect because there's no getting
what a
out
grave to dig, though.
Yeah, what a grave to dig.
It's being a Beatles fan is like staring into the sun. It's the most wonderful black hole you'll ever enter.
Yeah.
Because we all know we're never going to leave it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like once you get this far in, you can't. People say to me, "Do you think you'll always like the Beatles?" As if I have a choice.
Yeah.
As if I could just one day be like, "I'll stop listening to them." No, this is my life now. It's my one personality trait.
Friendship ended with the Beatles. The Rolling Stones are now my best friend.
The Rolling Stones. I do like the Rolling Stones, to be fair. I saw them live.
So did I.
Oh, what did you think?
They were good. They were very old.
Yeah, to be fair. But Mick, he's still grooving all over the place.
When I saw them, it was right after Mick had his heart surgery.
Oh, jeez.
And so, like, the rest of the tour was, like, about to be canceled. And so I was like, well, shit, we just dropped a bunch of money on Rolling Stones tickets. But luckily, all the other dates, like our show in just outside of Barrie, Ontario, was going to be, the last one on the tour, and ended up being the second one on the tour.
Oh.
And so we got to see a fairly sprightly Mick Jagger run around the stage with probably, pacemaker, horse
really?
tranquilizer. I don't know.
I mean, good on him. Good on him. Man, I can do that.
They played, my favorite Stones song, which they didn't play in all the shows, but I was really excited when they played it.
Which one?
She's a Rainbow.
Oh, yeah, they didn't play that at my one.
Well, I'm sure they did this when you saw them. Like, there's like a song in the set list where you can vote online.
Yeah.
She's a Rainbow was one of the options. And so I was like, okay, that's it. And I voted with like 5 different accounts.
Yeah, as if that's going to make a huge difference.
No, I know.
My favorite Stones song is Wild Horses. And I'm pretty sure the show I went to in London was the probably like one of the only songs. It was definitely the last tour the last venue that they played Wild Horses, and it was one of the voting ones too. And I was like, oh, thank God, because it was such a dream.
Oh,
but we're not supposed to be talking about the Stones here.
Well, we're allowed to talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about.
Okay.
I still have on my wall the poster from the gig. Of course, the most memorable thing about that concert was the fact that the parking was a nightmare, and we ended up stuck in the parking lot for about 5 hours afterwards.
Oh, really?
Till about 3 or 4 in the morning. So along with the poster, I framed the parking pass. It's like, what a fucking waste of money that was.
Well, not really a waste if you
Well,
think
a
about it.
little. Like, we could have parked
A
in a
little
different
bit.
parking lot.
Yeah.
Because the other
Park-
ones, it's like, yeah, we got out of there at 11:30, right when the show ended. It's like, oh, you
Uh,
fuckers.
Yeah, I think ours was pretty smooth on the way back, but it's always like such a like weird feeling when you're leaving a concert and everyone's just walking along the road. It's like mad.
Yeah.
Feels a bit creepy, a bit like a cult.
Well, again, what a cult to be a part of.
Yeah.
It probably didn't help that it was like an outdoor festival style
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Because, you know, when I saw like concerts like ELO and Roger Waters at like the big arena in Toronto, you know, it was pretty smooth. You know,
Yeah.
you walked out, you walked to the car, you
And
drove off.
hmm
But no, life can't be that simple.
Well, when I went to go see Paul in December 2019.
Now explain to the audience at home who Paul is.
Oh, he's kind of underground. I'm not really sure if I should really bother.
Yeah.
Um,
Is he the one who died in 1966 and was
yeah.
replaced?
hmm
Yes.
Yeah, you might know him from that.
Yes.
Other than that,
No.
yeah. So,
He had this one song, "Mary Had a Little Lamb." That's like the only one.
yeah, yeah, pretty much the frog song, I guess.
Yeah. Well, they just reissued that.
Oh yeah, I saw that on like a YouTube premiere. I'm like,
Oh, that is
my,
the
um,
that
my
is the dumbest fucking thing ever.
no, leave him alone. My old school, the choir master, yeah, very British. Um, he actually sang in the chorus when he was a child. He sang in that, so that's my claim to fame. But anyway, what I was talking about was we went to see Paul, and my parents were like, okay, we should probably go now because it was just finishing, like, because we wanna miss the traffic. And I was like, no, I'm staying here for every second that I can. And then thank God we didn't leave because that's when Ringo came on and Ronnie Wood. And
So this was at the O2.
yeah. So if we did leave when they wanted to, I wouldn't have seen Ringo, and I don't think I would be able to live with myself. Like I would not be here.
You saw a partial Beatles reunion.
I know. Like Paul said to me, well, to the whole audience, but me specifically.
Yes.
He said, I'll just let that sink in after Ringo came on. And I was in tears. I was literally like, oh, it was so mad. Oh.
See, on a lesser degree, I kind of know what it feels like if you had left. Because when I saw him the first time in Boston, we had to leave to get ahead of the traffic, like during the first encore.
Oh, really?
Because I wanted to get the tour book, and she's like, if, you know, she is my mom. She's like, if you want to get the tour book, we're going to have to leave now. And so I was like, I was just muttering under my breath the whole time because, you know, he was playing Day Tripper, and I'm walking out as it gets more and more echoey and reverby.
Oh, no, I wouldn't have been able to do that. No way.
So that's why the second time when we saw him, she's like, we got to leave. We got to get ahead of the traffic. I'm like, I'm standing right here until he plays the last note.
Until he's gone.
Until Paul fucks off.
So cool. I want to see him twice.
Well, you saw him with Ringo. I've seen Ringo separately, but I haven't seen Ringo with Paul.
But you have seen Ringo, so it's okay.
Technically, I've seen Ronnie Wood too, so I can piece together my own version of that concert. Yeah, but again, imagine paying just to see Ronnie Wood separately, though. Yeah.
No, I mean, I like Ronnie Wood, but
yeah. I mean, he's no Brian Jones.
No Stones without Jones. No Stones
exactly. Did you shout that at the Stones show?
I feel like it would have been a little inappropriate. I didn't.
Yeah.
I was screaming other things like "Marry me," "Take your clothes off," that sort of thing.
Okay. Yes.
Even though I was there with my boyfriend at the time, so you know, you got to do what you got to do. You got to make the move.
Lady of culture, I see. You know, shouting at the 75-year-old men, "Take your clothes off."
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna leave and not take that risk of like. Imagine if he was like, okay,
Yeah. Again, when in Rome.
yeah. Well, we weren't in Rome, but I get it.
More like when in London. So now I'll ask, what was the first Beatle album that you remember? Well, usually I ask the first Beatle album that you owned, but we live in a post-owning music age in a way.
Well, I the first Beatles records I got was it's kind of embarrassing. You know the Red album. It's like the best hits or whatever from
the 62 to 66.
And what we actually, for one Christmas, we got my mum a record player and there's a records with it, and that was one of them. So technically I bought it, but it wasn't for me. But then I stole it, and then I started listening to that, and then the first one I downloaded was actually the Blue album. So I don't really know why, but that's just how it happened.
Well, you already had the red one.
Yeah.
Might as well see what the other color is.
Yeah, literally.
But you like me have also devolved into gasp, a record collector. Ew.
Yeah. There's nothing I can do about that, I'm afraid.
Imagine paying for music.
When I go into my I say local record store, it's a half-an-hour drive away, but when I go there, the guy who owns the store, he puts Beatles on, and then he literally refers to me as the Paul McCartney girl, and that's how I want to be perceived by everyone.
I should have just introduced you as the Paul McCartney girl.
Yeah, people would know who you're talking about. They'll be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah, she's...
Yeah,
you know,
her. Yeah.
Her.
Yeah, her.
Yeah, but that means you could also be... You could have also been mistaken for Heather Mills. Yeah.
Okay. I might need to rethink this. Oh, she was never Paul McCartney's girl. She can say what she wants, but...
No.
Jane, perhaps? Linda, yeah. But Heather?
Jane, questionable.
At one point.
Linda.
Cool. Linda.
Yeah. There was never a song named after Jane.
True.
Paul had like 6 songs named after Linda.
Yeah, and the only thing about Jane really is like We Can Work It Out, which is just talking about the rough relationship. So
yeah.
T.
So I'll ask, what do the Beatles mean to you? That's a very broad question.
What do they mean?
Yes.
In short, everything. Have you seen Almost Famous?
If I say yes, will I not be embarrassed?
No, you'll get it, even if you haven't. Basically, there's this so it's a film about like a rock band, an upcoming rock band in the 70s.
I know of the movie, but I have never seen it.
I'm explaining to the listeners.
Yes. Okay. And, you get the show better than I do.
Yeah. And so this guy is like a report. Oh, there's a tractor going by my house. Anyways, there's this guy who's a reporter, and he's like asking Russell, the lead guitarist, what does music mean to you? And then he says, in short, everything. So that's what I was quoting, but it didn't, anyways, everything. They mean everything to me. They're literally my whole like personality. Call it obsession, hyperfixations, addiction, if you will. But I don't know, man. They're everything to me. And there's nothing I can say. That's like it. I can't like fathom it. I can't explain it.
Well, if I may quote a movie of my own,
go for it. Hard Day's Night.
Say No More. Help.
Oh, how?
See, there we go. Now the score is settled.
I like a bit of seasoning in my soup.
Yeah. Season ticket.
It's a season ticket.
Okay, so
what do the Beatles mean to you then? Does anyone ever ask you questions? Is that allowed?
It's well, it kind of gives me a judge of character of the guest. Some a lot don't, And again, that's not an insult to my previous guests, but a little.
Yeah,
It
a little
hurts a
bit.
little.
So what
Yeah.
do they mean to you? I mean, you must
You'll have to tune into Fans on the Run episode 50 to find out the answer to that. No, I'll give a sneak peek.
think P.
Again, it's also hard when you pretty much said the exact same thing.
Yeah, word, yeah.
But again, the Beatles are like in a time, especially in like my life, where a lot is changing and has changed. You know, like being in high school,
High school, yeah.
having my dad die, being in the coronavirus,
Oh my goodness.
everything has changed, but the Beatles stay the same.
Oh, so it's like the constant.
It's a constant. It's
That's
like
so.
no matter what happens in your life, Revolver is there.
Oh,
Revolver's not gonna change.
that's
Like,
so comforting.
like the songs that they recorded will like last for like our entire lifetime and the entire lifetime of like everyone else to come.
Yeah, literally.
We can all.
Oh,
It's like a warm blanket. You can
mhm.
always go back to it.
That's it. Ah, how poetic.
Okay, well, don't use the word poetic and in the same way as describing something I said, because you will immediately regret it as the show goes on.
Hmm. We'll see.
We'll see. I keep saying that, and then I realize I'm becoming more and more articulate. So my jokes about me being like senile rambling are starting to get a little, you know,
Yeah, you're actually a bit more coherent than you once thought.
I perhaps we'll reach a day where I actually respect myself.
Well, we'll see. Oh,
We'll see.
we'll see.
We'll see. But yeah. But I want to ask you something, because this is something that I've thought about a bit. I'm a young fan. I feel like sometimes we get talked down to a bit, and I want to ask, especially more so, do you ever feel like I wouldn't say like discriminated, but like talked down to, gatekeeped, whatever it is, by older fans?
Well, the interactions I've had with older fans on Instagram and stuff, it's usually them being just excited that someone young is listening to the Beatles. Um, Sometimes they can be a bit like, I was there at the time, blah 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 blah, and as if they have if as if they're like closer to them than I can be to them, which is sort of annoying, but I understand what they're saying because if they really did grow up with them, but at the same time, I also grew up with them,
Hmm.
so I don't really know. I haven't had many bad experiences. Um, yeah, I'm pretty lucky in that respect. I normally get if I'm wearing a Beatles merch around the towns, I normally get like people like older people are normally pretty happy and they'll like talk to me and like be excited. So in that respect,
Not
I
like
think
oh, you're wearing a Beatles shirt, name 5 Beatles songs.
okay, here we go. Being being a woman, if you do wear a band t-shirt, you get all the time from like boys about like, oh, is that your boyfriend's t-shirt? When I went to HMV, I don't know if you have that. It
We used to.
used to.
Yeah,
Um,
dearly missed.
I know, I know. I think they're going bankrupt here too. Anyways,
Well, they're owned by a Canadian company now.
oh, oh, now, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see.
Like the
Um,
company that took over all the HMV locations here went and just fucking bought the original HMV and bought
um,
like an American chain too. So now the Canadians have the monopoly on the dying format of the large scale retail chain record store.
well, I have a bone to pick with HMV anyway because the other
What's your
day,
bone to pick with HMV?
well, I'll tell you. I went to buy a new Led Zeppelin t-shirt because my one is so faded, and I went to the like register where you buy it,
Yeah.
and I said, "This one, please," and then the man was like, "Oh, is this for your boyfriend?" And I was like, "Ugh, no, like this is HMV. It can't be that uncommon for girls to buy band t-shirts."
Yeah.
And I was really wanted him to ask me what my favorite Led Zeppelin song was, just so I could say like "Stairway to Heaven" and just be funny. But
Yeah.
so yeah, I've had a few of those. But normally boys, not that my validation is through the male gaze, but normally boys tend to like it if girls are into rock. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I I've never experienced that myself, but I've noticed it happen, and I kind of want to, shine a spotlight on, you know, the show's all about the Beatles fandom,
Yeah,
and I kind of want to, shine a light on all aspects of it, good and bad,
yeah, yeah.
because that's what self-awareness is about.
True,
Because I
true,
think
true.
it's ludicrous that happens.
Yeah, I mean, in this day and age, would you
Yeah.
believe? But like the Beatles
Is it
fandom,
such a foreign concept that
I know.
a woman listens
Yeah,
to Pink Floyd?
no.
A woman listened to Dark Side of the Moon?
Can't
It's not
be
like that's one of the best-selling albums of all time.
like the Beatles fandom back in the early 60s. The majority was young, impressionable girls. Like, not saying boys didn't listen to them, but if you look at the videos of the concerts,
Yeah,
it's just girls pissing themselves. So I
literally.
don't know why, yeah, I don't know why it's so hard to fathom the idea that a girl likes classic rock just because she likes it and not because she's trying to impress a boy or because well,
Yeah,
you get the vibe.
I get the vibe.
Hmm.
Those people, again, if I may quote our generation, they do not pass the vibe check.
Oh, how very relevant.
Very relevant. Again, I don't get to use memes a lot on this show. And that's like, apart from Beatles, like the only other aspect of my personality.
Oh, meme.
Yeah, meme.
I see. I
I
understand.
see meme, I like meme.
Yeah, meme.
Meme.
Hmm.
Um, so, do you have any, particular memories that stick out in your mind that are kind of punctuated by or involve the Beatles music or being a Beatles fan in some way?
Well, this kind of goes back to your last question. I went to see the Bootleg Beatles, the tribute band in Epsom, and when I went there, it was all like a standing audience, and I went right to the front and was like singing along the entire time. And then at the very end, this elderly woman said to me, "I'm so surprised you knew all the words." And I was like, "Yeah, I did." And I don't know, that sort of like just sort of jumped out to me just because it was such a good day anyway, and I forget that like people are surprised that I know the words. And then like other experiences, well, the Beatles seem to be a little bit everywhere in the UK. Like they're playing all the time. There's always references and places, especially in Liverpool. Makes sense. But
Now, explain to the audience at home what Liverpool is.
Liverpool is a city in the north of England, um, where the Beatles were born and grew up. And it's a really cool city. I really want to live there when I'm older. I was going to go to uni there, but like university, or do you call it college or university?
They're different things here.
So like university is in like the last stop on the education train.
Well, it's there's universities and there are colleges.
Oh,
They both kind of function similarly, but again, I should know this because I'm going to college next year, and I
yeah,
should be able to say what the difference is off the top of my head. If my guidance counselor is listening to this, yes, I do know what the
I
difference
do.
is. I do, and yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, I'm in college right now, which is ages like 16 to like 18,
Yeah.
and then you go to university. So that's how it works
Okay.
out.
So, okay. I didn't know that's how it worked.
Yeah, it's called like sixth form college. So I'm in sixth form.
Okay.
So there's, yeah, well, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was I talking about? Liverpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'm always
I
talking about.
love Liverpool.
Have you been before?
I'm ashamed to say I only spent a day in Liverpool.
That's still good.
Yeah. You know, I spent the rest of the week in London, but we took the train up to Liverpool and did all the Liverpool
Oh,
things.
that's so
And everyone
good.
was so nice.
Yeah. Oh, that's so lovely. And like, it's the architecture there is brilliant.
Oh,
Um,
God, down by the Albert Dock. It's just
yeah.
lovely.
And yeah, and it's so clean as well. Like, um, I've been 3 times, and 2 times, one time I went for the day because I was with my friend up in Birmingham, so we went because it's really close.
Yeah.
And then the other times I stayed in the Hard Day's Night Hotel.
That's where I stayed.
Yeah,
Which
it's
made the whole experience feel a little like I was staying like in a Beatles amusement park or
yeah,
something.
literally, that's literally what Liverpool
Yeah.
is. Like if you go to the touristy bits,
Well,
like
that's pretty much where we were for the
yeah,
day, apart from, you know, going to the museum,
Mhm.
having to walk there and then taking a tour.
Yeah.
We were just in that Matthew Street block.
Did you do the Magical Mystery Tour?
We had tickets to the Magical Mystery Tour, but we couldn't find the bus because it was
Oh,
raining.
oh my
Well,
gosh.
again, no shit, it was raining.
I've actually never been while it's oh no, actually it rained for like a couple hours one trip, but normally like I've had pretty good weather, touch wood. But yeah, like the Magical Mystery Tour was so good. But if you're planning to go to Liverpool, I would recommend, not you in particular, I was
Yeah,
talking to the, yeah, you get it.
yeah.
The Fab Four taxi tour is great because you get to stop at loads more places and like actually like so like on the mystery tour you don't get to go to Ringo's. Well, you drive past it, but you don't get to go to his actual house and like look in and everything. Not you don't look in the windows,
Yeah.
but you know. And then and you can also go to where John and Paul met. You can go into the barber shop
Well,
and everything.
we took you know, we hopped in a cab just outside of the Beatles Museum. It was just, you
Yeah.
know, a random cab, and we're like, ah, fuck, do you know anyone who does Beatle tours? Which is apparently the best question you can ask a Liverpool taxi driver, because he
Yeah.
just turned his light off, and he's like, well, you've come to the right place.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. But again,
Oh,
plugging the what's the name?
Fab Four taxi tour.
I'll plug someone else because she was a past guest and I have sworn my allegiance to her. The best tour guide in all of Liverpool, Jackie Spencer. Yeah, if you're in Liverpool, you have to go take Jackie Spencer's tour.
I will write that
Yeah.
down.
She is a lovely person.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's great.
yeah. I'm legally obligated to plug these people.
I'm legally obliged.
Yeah, of course. And again, if you're in London, you have to go take Richard Porter's tour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's weird. I live in Canada, but I'm plugging all
You know,
these. I know people.
I've got connections.
I know people. I know at least 4 people.
Yeah, at least.
At least, very least.
You could round that up to 5.
Okay. Well, I say that to my friends sometimes. It's like, I have like 5 friends and you are 2 of them. Here is another interesting question. So
Okay.
you are known for your, you know, 60s style and all that stuff. How did you kind of, you know, get into that world, so to speak?
Well, I thought you'd never ask.
Yeah.
I started.
Apologies for
because-
taking 35 minutes or so to get into that question.
No, it's fine. I get this asked all the time whenever I do like question Q&As on my Instagram and stuff. This always comes up, and I like answering it because I like talking about myself.
Yeah.
I'm a Taurus, so basically,
That's
when
why so many people like doing Fans on the Run. They get to talk
Yeah.
about themselves.
literally
Again, to any past guests or future guests, I'm not calling you narcissists.
maybe a little bit. I don't mind.
I'm not saying anything. You can say it.
Well, when I started listening to the Beatles, I started to get into like the fashion of the 60s and the pop culture, the London scene, mods, rockers, hippies and everything. And then just came from there. Like I was dressing like how all my mates are dressing, which is fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But I felt bored because I think it was Paul McCartney or John, I think it was Paul, who said it's weird not to be weird. And I feel like some people like to fit in and be trendy, but for me, like it felt unfulfilling, like I was missing something. But saying that, like if I was alive in the 60s, I would be the most basic bitch ever. Like I draw eyelashes on, I wear mini dresses. My favorite band is the Beatles. Oh, my favorite member is Paul McCartney. Like it does not get more basic than that. So depends, but yeah, that's how
one decade's basic is the other decade's, you know, counterculture, weird, awesome.
Yeah, literally. Awesome, yeah, I can say that.
Yeah, I can say that.
How did you get into them?
The Beatles. So I had always heard of this mythic band. Again, I say that as if they weren't like the most popular band in the world and are still probably one of the most popular bands in Canada. But, you know, I had always heard, you know, my family members talking about the Beatles. And one day...
I love that you say it too, like with a D, like the Beatles.
Yeah. The Beatles.
Beatles.
Yeah. Well, here we have... there's a Beatles channel on this satellite radio, Sirius XM. And so the announcer is, you know, this omnipotent British woman who says, the Beatles channel, 24/7. And
you have full experience.
Well, of course. It wouldn't make sense with, like, you know, an American announcer. But anyways, enough of that tangent that lasted 30 seconds. I found the CD of the Blue album in my house somewhere. And so I'm like, okay, let's see what this is. So I put it on my little CD player, and I was blown away by the fact that Sgt. Pepper and With a Little Help from My Friends were two different songs. Because they blended into each other. And I'm like, no. Why is it saying track 3 and now it's saying track 4? It's broken.
Yeah, the Sgt. Pepper's album's so cool how they all blend together. And it's so weird when you start getting into the Beatles and you start recognizing all these songs, like oh, Hey Jude, and like I Want to Hold Your Hand, and Yellow Submarine, obviously. It's so weird once you start getting into it and everything just clicks.
Well, it's especially... It really clicked for me how weird it is when I went to a Beatles convention last year, the Beatle Fest, or the Fest for Beatles fans, one of those two names. And I entered this Name That Tune competition where they were, you know, they played like a snippet of a Beatles song, and I was able to buzz in within like 5 milliseconds of hearing. It's like, oh, that's another girl. Yeah. That's I Want to Tell You.
Yeah. Oh, that's She's So Heavy anthology version, take 27.
Exactly. Well, the weirdest part was when they started playing like Beatles covers by other artists, and I was still able to buzz in. It's like, that's If I Needed Someone by the Hollies.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, I love the Hollies.
They're cute.
Again, I always work in what I've been listening to a lot lately.
Yeah.
Into my
I've been
show.
listening to a lot of Led Zeppelin recently.
What's your favorite Zeppelin album?
My favorite album is probably Zeppelin 2.
Correct answer.
But my favorite song is probably Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You.
Okay.
Which is from Zeppelin 1.
I think my favorite Zeppelin songs still gotta be Bring It On Home.
Oh, yeah.
How it starts with, you know, the harmonica, like the slow blues, but then it kicks in with like the, you know, what comes to mind when you think of Led Zeppelin is...
Yeah, exactly, that sound.
It's
yeah.
like when I first heard it, I had been familiar with their music, so it sounded like if you put all these Led Zeppelin songs into like an AI and just asked it to make a Led Zeppelin song, that's what would come out. But that's not a bad thing.
No.
Yeah,
it's
love
a
it.
Yeah.
I'll actually.
Jimmy, I was gonna flex. Am I
okay.
allowed?
Oh, yes, please.
Jimmy Page's son went to my school, and like a couple years ago, but he got expelled because I don't know why, but he did get expelled.
Oh,
but
wow.
that's my another claim to fame.
Look at you with all these claims to fame.
Well, I live in like the south of England where all the like rock stars go when they're like retiring.
Yeah.
So like I've met Eric Clapton.
You've met Eric Clapton.
Yeah, he went to like there's a pub right next door to my house. And
why haven't you mentioned this yet?
I was working it in. I was trying to find a time.
That would be like the first thing I would say ever in any conversation. It's like, I don't know. I've met Eric Clapton.
Yeah,
we're basically best friends.
Yeah, word. I literally ran up from my house and I saw him. I was like, and he was like, just breathe, like calm down. And we just talked for like 10 minutes or something. Like the whole time I was literally like trying not to projectile vomit over his fish cakes. And it was mad. And also another flex, my mate in English class, literature, English literature.
English.
She is next door neighbours with Patty Boyd.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And for everyone who doesn't know, Patty Boyd was married to George Harrison and Eric Clapton. She's a bad bitch. So I've sent a letter to her and I've got one back. And she said I was pretty.
Oh,
so
wow.
That's all the validation I need.
Have you read Patty's book?
I have, yeah.
I love it.
It's so good. It's
wonderful.
Brilliant.
Tonight, it's...
Mm-hmm.
Imagine just being like... Imagine having not like one iconic song, but like at least three.
Something Wonderful Tonight. There's one like Layla, of course. Like Bell Bottom Blue something.
Yeah.
I can't remember. That's an Eric one.
And there's probably some earlier Beatles ones.
Yeah, like, and also from the All Things Must Pass album, George's one. There's lots about her in that.
Oh yeah.
And Let It Down and I Live For You and stuff. So
well,
cute.
This is I love getting into this part because this is where it gets opinionated. And this is where all the best conversations happen. Where like either we become best friends or we devolve into calling each other like fucking idiots. What is your favorite Beatles song?
I did actually mention it earlier without saying it's my favorite. So While My Guitar Gently Weeps is my favorite Beatles song. It's one of those songs that like it's my favorite song, period. Like I can listen to that over and over and over and over and over again and just not get sick of it. And like I don't know, it's been like 3 years where I listen to that almost every day. So I'm gonna say that one.
Oh,
what about you?
Which version is your favorite?
Okay, I love the anthology, like the acoustic version. It's so pretty. And I love the live one in Madison Square Garden because George does all his like cute little like voice breaks.
Yeah.
Like
that's what happens when you do a tour with laryngitis.
yeah. But even if intended or not, I love the way it sounds.
Yeah.
But I don't know which one's my favorite. I like them all for different moods, but the classic one is a classic, and you know I like how it's all of them playing together. So maybe that one.
Plus, your best friend Eric Clapton's on there.
Oh, my mate Eric. Yeah. He did play.
Your mate from the pub.
Oh, down the road. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric. Yeah.
Well, the studio version's my favorite. I'm not super crazy about the anthology version for some reason.
But it's so pretty.
What I do like, I'll compromise. I do love the version on the Love album, where it's that acoustic version, but George Martin added like all the orchestra stuff to it.
Yeah, okay.
And that version, it's like, okay, not bad. I like it.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Obviously, it's not going to be bad, is it?
Well, it's a fucking Beatles song.
Yeah.
Speaking of that same sentiment, what is your least favorite Beatles song?
I could go for like Revolution 9 or like Wild Honey Pie. Even though I can appreciate them, they're not the best. I think like I don't really tend to skip them if they come on, but I think one song that maybe
Well, it's
that
not
just
worth
isn't.
skipping Wild Honey Pie. It takes
Yeah,
effort.
no, true.
It's
So
maybe
true.
worth skipping Revolution 9, but Wild
Yeah,
Honey Pie is like 40 seconds.
yeah,
So it's
literally.
not like you're gonna walk over to your turntable and like pick up the needle and it's like, all right, where the fuck's the next
Yeah,
song?
true. Um, actually, come to think of it, I can't I can't think of any. Like I
There are
know lots of
no
people
other like Beatles songs on albums that you're like, you know what? I don't like this very
um,
much.
maybe something from Beatles for Sale. Like okay, I don't want to spoil the party.
Okay.
That one, it like it's good.
Yeah.
If someone else played it, like if it played somewhere, I'll be like Beatles, yay! But like if it's just playing in my room, I'm like, "Meh," you know,
Yeah.
it's you
It's
know,
it's not my favorite song on Beatles for Sale.
yeah.
Of course, there are songs on that album that people like that I don't like for some
Oh,
reason.
go on,
Um,
Bill.
this is this is probably going to get me some hate. I've never said I don't like this one on the show before, so this is a world exclusive, as if anyone cares. I'll Follow the Sun.
Really?
I don't like that song.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But tomorrow something. No, oh, but it's so cute. Like it's like the transition between like you've got the early Beatles pool, lovey lovey dovey, but then you've also got like they're starting to get their sound too. So I don't know. I don't think you're allowed to have that opinion.
Oh, okay. See, this is what I mean, where it gets opinionated.
Yeah, I mean, it's at least you didn't say that about something like I don't
It'd be
know,
funny
like
if you're gonna name a song, and wouldn't it be?
and then you're like,
Yeah, that's actually my least favorite. What song were
yeah.
you gonna say just then?
Oh, I was just gonna say Strawberry
Oh
Fields,
fuck
but
no,
but
that's
okay,
no.
okay, thank God, because that would have I would have had to leave, and I would have had to like block and report you.
Yeah, no. Strawberry Fields is one of the best recordings ever made,
Yeah, for real, yeah.
and especially like listening, you can have opinions and all the different takes and stuff, but the knowing the fact that it's a technical marvel for
Mhm.
1967, knowing that it's two different takes recorded at different speeds and at different pitches, and George Martin somehow spliced the two
Yeah,
together without anyone like knowing.
yeah. I am doing music technology for A level. Do you have A levels? No. I don't know. I'm
Is
studying
it
it now.
like you're majoring in it or
I don't know. I don't know.
yeah.
I so when you're like 17, you study, you pick three subjects to study. And I do English, music tech, and media studies.
Okay.
But in music tech, we're learning the Beatles is on the syllabus a lot. The Beatles are on the syllabus a lot because we learn about like recording techniques and revelations and stuff within
Okay.
that recording on tape, vinyl and everything. So we learn about them a lot. And one that comes up a lot is Strawberry Fields and Tomorrow Never Knows because
Exactly.
like the first use of backwards guitar and like sampling and everything. So
Well,
yeah.
Tomorrow Never Knows is, with all those tape loops going at the same time, Paul, splicing them all and having them on faders going up and down. Actually,
It's
I don't know
crazy.
if they were faders in
Well,
'66.
yeah, they did have faders for mixing, but
Yeah.
I think most of it was like doing it like by pulling the tape loop and making it speeding up. You know the like seagull
Yeah,
sound. You
it's
probably
it's
know
Paul
that.
laughing.
Exactly. And it's just like it's so creative. Like,
Yeah.
geez.
Even though they're really well, it's actually I don't know where I was going with that, but one of my favorite things to listen to is someone uploaded just the tape loops in their original form onto YouTube, and some of them just
Oh,
sound really really cool, on their
yeah.
own. Like there's something with like, backwards mellotron flutes
Oh,
and
yeah.
just at its normal speed, it's like that sounds like what's going on in my head, like all the time.
Yeah, it's crazy how they can do that. Figure out what's going on in people's heads who haven't even been born yet.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
that's I'm really glad you actually brought up like the Beatles studio like innovations, because I get in arguments with my friend. He's like, the Beatles are overrated though.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that so much because I know, like, I understand if you haven't really looked into them and you hear like, "I want to hold your hand," and like Octopus's Garden, and you're like, "Meh." But what you need to
Well,
understand
guess
is
what
that
bands he likes more?
if it's
Blur,
like 1970,
Blur, Pulp, Oasis.
they're all because of the Beatles.
Oasis
Like,
is a Revolver tribute band.
yeah, literally, yeah. So you can't, yeah, they're not overrated because they were the first to do all this stuff. Like, you can't overrate that, if that makes sense.
They are just rated enough.
Yeah, like
They're,
literally.
in my opinion, for all the stuff they did, they are borderline underrated. And they are still probably the most rated band in history.
I feel like a lot of people would say the Beatles are one of the best bands without even knowing why. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they'll be like,
Because they've
sort
been
of,
told that the Beatles
yeah,
are the best
but
band.
if you actually go into it, you will make that decision for yourself anyway. Not everyone likes their music. It is like very period, like 60s. But at the same time, it's difficult to dislike it because there's stuff for everyone in there.
Exactly.
You've got the early like Motown sounding stuff, with the Beatles and Please Please Me. And you've got the psychedelic rock. You've got like the classic rock sounds. You've got blues. You've got like everything.
Yeah. You've got like Baroque pop. You've got I don't even know what I'd describe. Fucking I Want You is basically proto stoner rock.
Yeah, they literally made like their own genres. It's mad. And then as technology went on and Paul like with the McCartney 2 album, there's so much like electronic pop, there's soft rock, there's
I'm glad you brought that up too, because that's an album I feel like the older generation is like hit or miss with them, but I feel like that album in particular resonates with a lot of people our age.
It's just like, it's fucking weird.
Yeah,
like, it's
weird, and the fact that it's Paul McCartney post Wings. Like, he'd been at his commercial peak. He goes from doing like Wonderful Christmas Time to fucking Temporary Secretary and Check My Machine.
Yeah, like I love. Yeah, exactly. I just love it. Like, it's so fucking weird, but he can do that because he's Paul McCartney and he just owns music. He invented music.
Yeah, he did. Fun fact: there was no music before 1962.
Yeah,
it had yet to be invented.
But Paul McCartney, maybe John a little bit, but Paul McCartney, he did that.
Yeah. Buddy Holly, who?
Huh? Chuck Berry?
I don't know who he is.
No.
I asked you least favorite song and album. What's your favorite Beatles album? And keep in mind there is a correct answer.
Oh, well.
Say your answer, and then I'll tell you if it's the correct answer or not.
Okay. The White Album.
Oh.
Are you going to say Sgt. Pepper's?
Oh, fuck no. That album.
Okay. I love the album, but it's not my favorite.
No.
The White Album is my favorite.
Okay.
Even though I love the early Beatles stuff. Like, I'm such a whore for, like, with the Beatles and stuff like that. But the White Album, really love that one.
Okay. I find myself more and more, as I talk to more and more people, I can't say the correct answer thing anymore because it's starting to almost be in the minority.
What's your favorite? Is it Rubber Soul?
No.
Is that your favorite?
Rubber Soul, I did a tally of all the past guests and I, crunched the numbers and found that the top two picks as of, episode 40 were like Rubber Soul and Revolver.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always said, the correct answer here is Revolver. That's the best
I
Beatles
thought you-
album.
I mean,
But then
I love it.
I feel like the White Album is more and more of a popular opinion as it goes on, because it's just so varied.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm so tired. Rocky Raccoon, Mama Cloud Gently Weeps,
Helter
Dear
Skelter,
Prudence.
Piggies.
Piggies, yeah, it's got everything in there. But I feel like with Revolver, it's like Rubber Soul on acid sort of thing.
And that's what's
like,
awesome about it.
yeah, of course. I'm not going to say anything bad about Revolver, am I? But it's got more of its own sound, whereas the White Album is so varied. But saying
that's
that, like,
that's what I like about Revolver, because you
Yeah.
mentioned when talking about what was the song? I'll Follow the Sun, saying it was kind of the bridge between the early and later kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like Revolver is. You get the early, power. I'll call it
Yeah,
power
fair enough,
pop of the
yeah.
Beatles.
Yeah, sure. Oh, like, yeah.
Yeah.
But then,
you
like-
could hear like A Hard Day's Night. You can hear Help in it, but you can also hear the rumblings of what's going to happen with like
Yeah,
Sgt.
like,
Pepper and
yeah.
Magical Mystery Tour.
Yeah, that's true. Like, even just the album art sort of shows you that
Yeah.
it's progressing.
Well, the fact that the Beatles are like the most popular pop band in the world, and their album cover is a drawing of them.
Yeah.
It's not a photograph.
Well, there are photographs in it.
But the main thing is like Klaus Vormann's
Did you-
drawing of the four faces. Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't
yeah.
even say who the band is on the front cover.
That's what so as I said, I study media studies, and one of our coursework is creating a campaign for a new music artist, and they're saying like, okay, you have to have their name and the title of the album really big, but the Beatles, like with the White Album, you can barely even see what that is. Like, if you look really closely, it says
Yeah.
the Beatles.
If you're looking at the
it's
record,
cool.
you have to like
They're like,
well
flip it.
more so on like the British copies, because like the record companies here just got lazy after a while, and it's like, yeah, fuck it, just print it in
The
gray.
Beatles. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
no, that is late.
But that's
But, like,
on the early
then
copies,
it's
it's embossed, like how it
Yeah,
should
that
be.
was the most expensive album I bought, but yeah.
It's up there with mine. I paid a price for an original British stereo copy of the White Album,
yeah.
like where the records come out the top and it's got the number on it.
Dare I ask how much that was?
Well, now I'll say it out loud, but then I realized that's not even close to the most expensive Beatle album I bought. It was 50 Canadian dollar. Oh no, 50 US dollars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I bought a copy of Abbey Road for $100 once. But however, that copy's worth $500.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have Yesterday and Today.
Yes.
It's not an original one or anything. It's a reprint, I think, from like the 70s, but it's still pretty rare,
Yeah.
and it's a blue vinyl. That's
Okay.
like pretty good one.
But it's got, it's a reproduction with the butcher cover, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. So it's from the 70s. It's not quite like an original, but pretty groovy.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Like, even if it's like a reproduction, it's still cool.
Mhm.
Again, asked how much I paid. It's getting dangerously close to the point where it's like I'm going to buy one of those, they call them second state copies, where the new cover was pasted over the original. And it's like, $400 doesn't sound that unreasonable.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on fucking box sets.
Oh no, that'll be the death of me.
I want to punch a hole through a wall, knowing how much money I've spent on buying the same fucking 13 albums over
I know, because people are like, you can just listen to it on your phone, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, it's different. And they're like, isn't it worse quality on vinyl? I'm like, yeah. So
Well, not really, though.
it's got the atmosphere, hasn't it?
It's
It
not
feels
even
more-
that. It's, this is, I feel like as I get further and further into record collecting, I become more and more of a snob. Because
Yeah.
because you get dangerously closer and closer to audiophile territory. Where you're like, no, you're a lot closer with a vinyl copy, a clean vinyl copy, to the original master tape than any other format ever. Save for maybe, reel-to-reel copies from the 60s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're just talking about my like exam syllabus here, so
Yeah.
yeah.
But again, most of those copies from the 60s are beat to shit. Because,
Yeah.
And
the thing is, with vinyl, the more times you listen to it, the like worse it gets. But so yeah,
well,
it's tricky.
yeah, it's tricky. So, and I'll ask you, what is your least favorite Beatles album?
Oh, I don't have a least favorite Beatles album. Can I say Yellow Submarine?
If
Because
you
it's
can't
got-
think of anything else, I'll allow it.
Okay, I'll try and answer it properly. I don't want to say Beatles for Sale because I feel like I've been kind of mean to it
Well,
today.
you can say it. We're allowed to be mean to the music.
Oh, I can't. I do. Let It Be. I really like it. It's got.
That's the correct answer. That's the correct
Yeah.
answer on this show. And I get comments like, why do you always trash Let It Be? Because it's not a good album.
Oh, whoa. I never said that. I never said that.
I said that.
Yeah, he said that, not me. I love I'm Me Mine so much.
Okay,
I think
that's
beautiful.
like the best song on the album.
I'm Me Mine. Obviously, Let It Be. I love that song.
I'm not
want
crazy on it.
I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear anything about it.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think of, that's the thing, like, there's not much else on that album. Like,
It's got
One
Get
After
Back.
Nine. Yeah,
Don't let
that's a good one.
Wait, no, Don't Let Me Down's
Dig It.
not on the album though.
No,
Oh, One After 909. It's okay.
that was pretty funky. Didn't they write? They wrote that when they were quite young.
Yeah.
Dig It. Yeah, like I said, it's fun. But what else? There's not like
Two
that
of Us.
much else. That's cute. That's like Mclennan friendship right there. We stand.
Okay, now this is actually probably the time where I actually mean it most on the show. Would you care to explain to our older audience what Mclennan is?
Well, you're giving me quite a task here. Mclennan is the ship name, as in relationship name of Paul McCartney, John Lennon. As if they had like a thing. Okay,
Yeah.
that's just like the thing. When I talk about Mclennan, I don't really mean that I thought they were a thing or anything, or that they were romantically involved. I just mean more like the bromance.
Yeah.
And like
And you
like Paul McCartney
elderly
said,
Beatles scholars should know this more than anyone. You've seen more pictures of these two than anyone. Like, there are
Yeah.
so many pictures of them where they look like they're about to kiss. And you
I'm
can't
not-
deny that. You can't
I'm
deny
just
that.
saying, if it turned out that one day they got really drunk and got off with each other, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. I'm not saying they have, but like, they were so close, like beyond close.
Mark
Lennon-
Lewison, if you're listening to this, and I know you are, you have my email address. Feel free to send me your comments on this.
Oh, what would he say about this?
Oh, he's Mark Lewis.
But like when Paul McCartney said, when he said, quote, "When I found out what Mclennan was, I almost broke my other hip." But he says that as if he did. Like, Beatles fans in the 60s would ship them too.
Yeah.
Like, it was a new sort of concept, but they would still be like, Paul and John are so cute together. But like, I mean, I'm here for it. I'll accept that. If I'm not going to be able to be with Paul, then might as well be John, But I'm not saying that's happening or happen. Oh, it's not going to happen now.
Well,
But
yeah, because he's been dead for 40 years.
yeah, that does contribute to their relationship. But
It's a factor.
at the concert where Paul sings Here Today,
Yeah.
and then it's that I love you. Oh my god, I cried like a little bitch. Like, there was no, just thinking about it now, it's making me feel funny. It's so
I
sweet.
don't want to make anyone else cry on this show because that's happened once. I can't tell if that was because I brought up an emotion or I was, intense.
Intense.
Yeah.
All Beatles fans are intense. I've never met a Beatles fan who isn't a bit of a weirdo.
Yeah.
So
Well, again, the audience can't see this because this is an audio show, but I think our guest Connie can see the fact behind me. I have a Sergeant Pepper suit hanging
that's
on my door.
I'm not in my bedroom because my Wi-Fi is shit in there. But if you were in my room, you would see my Paul McCartney cardboard cutout that stands opposite my bed. So that says enough about me, really.
I don't have any Beatles cardboard cutouts. However,
Yeah,
that's not a definite statement. That could change.
yeah, and it probably will.
Who knows? You know,
Oh, who's
been a
your favorite?
Beatles
It's
fan
cool.
for about 10 years. It could
Mm.
change, you know. I
It's
had a
your
Michael
favorite.
Jackson cardboard cutout at one point.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah. C'est la
say
vie.
comment. Yeah.
Uh,
I've tried to ask you
okay,
like 4
sorry.
times.
I talk a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
Ask away.
Is Paul your favorite Beatle?
Uh, musically or in terms of like who you
Oh,
relate
well,
to on a
I
like personal
you
level?
have to answer. You have to answer the question that I just asked.
Who's my favorite?
Mhm. I don't want any like. Well, I like the music, but blah, 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 blah. I just want to know who your favorite
Okay,
is.
so I'll say George.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's cute.
I like his solo music the best. And
Oh,
I
that.
relate to him well, cuz he's all like, Hare Krishna, peace,
Yeah.
even though he slept with Ringo's wife, doesn't matter. We can look over that.
They're not gods.
He is
Well,
but a man.
he's but a man.
Yeah.
He's a Pisces, so they like the most creative types, but they also can be a bit not appreciate what they have when they have it. So that's him with Patty.
There you
So
go.
there you go.
And last question. Why do you think
Okay,
the
yeah.
Beatles still matter?
Um. Well, I mean, just in general, why they
Yeah.
matter, because they are so good. And I know that sounds really like simple,
Not really.
but they were so revolutionary that they can't not matter anymore. Because if any modern day artist, for example, I don't know, like Lana Del Rey or oh my god, this is gonna sound so cringe, but I don't know many of the modern or any modern artist that you think of has and who is successful probably has.
Who are you going to say, 100 Gex?
Well, I mean, probably in some respect, I don't know, man, but like, they're so
Come on, you
they're,
listen to Money
they're so
Machine and you
revolutionary.
can't hear a bit of Here, There, and Everywhere?
Yeah, well, it's here, there, and everywhere. That's the thing. Like, the thing is with the Beatles is that they were the working class in England, and they were just so unlikely. You always hear four lads from Liverpool, but it just blah, blah, blah. It was just so unheard of. So they already made a big impact just by being at least a little bit successful. But as they went on, they were literally the music of the decade, and you can't not matter if you were that substantial.
They were the first British band to make it in America. And the fact that they were from Liverpool, of all places, the port town.
Yeah, it was just it still is like
The working
lots
class
of like
northerners with the funny accents.
yeah, literally lots of like British snobs still like make fun of Liverpool, but like I don't know, so many great bands have come from Liverpool. I'm not going to start
Oh, yeah.
naming it now because I can't really think of any. But like, I just love them. I love what they've done for us. And I love like Paul McCartney, his inspiration has made me been vegetarian for 3 years. And John Lennon, I'm like a peace activist. And I was going to say about Ringo. I've barely spoken about Ringo today, but I love Ringo.
Yeah.
So much.
Out of
Anyway,
all the Beatles, he was one of them.
he was
Yeah.
one of the Beatles.
He was the drummer.
He was the like the heart.
Yeah. He was there.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah. I love his Twitter more than anything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's so fast.
Again, this says a lot that you've seen the video of him, like it was about 10 years ago, saying that he's not going to sign any more autographs.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
quote that video verbatim.
Mhm.
Like, this is a serious message to everybody
Yeah.
watching my update. After the 20th of October, I will not be signing any more fan mail. I'm warning
For
you
the
with peace
listeners,
and love.
yeah, we're doing the peace signs.
Yes.
You didn't see
You
that,
can't
but
see
we are.
this. This is all behind the scenes. It's technical magic. And now, here's the other best part of the show. I'm going to turn it over to you. What would you like to plug?
Plug?
Yeah.
Well, if you're if you're into the Beatles, which I'm assuming you probably are if you sat through 70 minutes of this, but I am Connie Mclean on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, like Pinterest, anything. And I post like lots of things to do with the Beatles, lots of things to do with 60s models and artists and film stars and everything. So if you want to see that, then follow me or else.
Or else. Was that a threat?
And a promise.
There. See? That.
Mm-hmm.
You get
But
you
thank
get the
you
show
so
better
much.
than I do.
Yeah, I get the vibes.
Threatening the
Thank you so much
audience.
for having me. Yeah, it's been fun because I can literally, this did not feel like an hour because I can talk about the Beatles for days and not realize that I've been talking about the Beatles for days. So
Oh, here's always my least favorite part of the show, because I've been told I need to promote myself more at the end of the
yeah,
episodes. So let's see if I can do the whole spiel from memory.
go for it.
This is a marathon. If you're watching this on YouTube, or listening on YouTube, where a portion of my audience does, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that bell notification icon so you get notified every time a new video gets posted. And I occasionally post any other things, other or episodes of, just me talking with other people, occasionally about other music, gasp, besides the Beatles.
That's fun.
Yeah. This episode can be streamed, if you're not streaming it right now, on just about every platform known to man. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Podbay, and probably about, again, a billion other services Podbean signed me up for without me knowing that I'm actually there, like iHeartRadio.com. There you go. I'm there too. And again, you can find us on Instagram at Fans on the Run Podcast. You can find us on Facebook at Fans on the Run Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Fans on the Run Pod. See, that's
Okay.
a new addition to the spiel, because I haven't had Twitter for like more than 4 days as of recording this. But yeah,
No.
we're everywhere.
Yeah.
We're inescapable.
Yeah,
But
everywhere you turn.
Connie, it's been a blast talking with you today.
Thank you so much. It's been so fun.
And to everyone else oh, sorry, I interrupted again.
I was just going to say, I hope you have a good day. Continue.
To everyone else out there, thank you for listening. You can go home now.
Or unless you're already home, you can be at home still.
Fans on the Run is produced by Ethan Alexanian. Additional voiceovers by Richard Phillip. This has been a Showtown production.